all set?
Ooh, sorry about that.
All right.
This is me, right?
That's you. Okay, joining us on the stage now is Boston College head coach Mike Gambino. The Eagles own a record of 34-20 and earned a spot in this year's Super Regional following a win in the Oxford Regional. Coach, if you could begin the press conference with an opening statement, we'll open it up to questions immediately after.
Yeah, I think the boys are excited to play. You know, we were really fortunate to play in Oxford this past weekend, which we said it before and we'll say it again. I can't imagine a better postseason experience than what that town and that administration, those fans put on. And we're extremely lucky to come out of a really tough regional. And now I think the boys are really excited to play. You know, if you're going to talk about college baseball programs, if you're going to do the Mount Rushmore of college baseball programs, Miami's got to be on it, at least in that conversation. So the boys are excited to come down here. We know this team that we're going to play is really, really good. We know they're going to be well coached. So they're excited to go out there and play hard and have fun and see what happens.
Questions from the media.
Coach, just first off, being able to advance out of a regional and guys make it to super regionals for the first time, just what was the emotion like with the team after you guys were able to advance out?
It was one of the most fun things I've ever been able to do as far as on my athletic career, my coaching career, was to be able to stand in that dugout and watch those boys celebrate. And on top of that, I think even better than that was watching the boys go grab that the freight train flag and celebrate with that with the freight train flag. It was awesome. I think the boys were extremely excited. And this might come as a surprise to people outside of this program, and this is not an indictment on the other three teams in that regional. This is just how much they believe in each other. The boys were excited but not surprised. This is a team that really, really believes in themselves and believes in each other. So I think this is a ball club that really believed that we would have a chance to make a run in the postseason.
Obviously, you guys haven't played Miami in a couple years, but what have you seen from them, what they've been able to do this year? Come from behind win, pitching, just all around, what have you seen from them?
Yeah, they have a little bit of a flair for the dramatic late in games. It's what you'd expect when you play the University of Miami. It's a really good lineup, top to bottom. They've got power, they've got speed, they can play defense, they can pitch it. They've got starting pitching. They got a guy at the back end, which they always seem to. It's a team that's got a chance to win the national championship. We know that, and I think you could probably say that most years about this program. So, even though we haven't played them in a couple years, every time you play the University of Miami, you know you're playing a national championship quality ball club.
And with that, going up against a team you said could win the national championship, how important is it going to be for your starting pitchers and just overall for your pitching to be on top of the team this weekend?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter what baseball game you're talking about. Everything starts with starting pitching, right? So, and specifically with our ball club, we're built around pitching and defense, and we have a ton of confidence in Justin and a ton of confidence in Michael, but we also have what we believe are quality arms in that bullpen. So, one of the cool things about this ball club is there's so much going back to that trust and belief in each other that there's no pressure on Justin because he knows whether he gives us 4 or 8, somebody's going to have him when he comes out, right? So Justin doesn't have to go in tomorrow feeling like I've got to dominate, I've got to be unbelievable, and Michael doesn't have to go in on Saturday feeling I gotta throw a complete game. They just got to give us a chance to win and then turn it over to the bullpen and let those boys in the bullpen take over.
What's it been like having that 1-2 punch in the starting pitching with Dunn King?
Yeah, when you got boys like that in the mound, it makes you a better manager, doesn't it? It's great. It's what we believed they would become in the recruiting process. It's what we believed they would become as they've been developing here. And I believe we have the best pitching coach in the country in Jim Foster, and watching him develop these guys has been fun.
And Johnny Adams, seeing what he was able to do in the regionals and as of late overall, how good is it to see him starting to surge at the right time?
Yeah, he's fun to watch play baseball, isn't he? He's going to give you quality at bats. He's going to make the plays. If there's a big situation, he's going to give you a quality at bat. You know, and to watch him do what he did in the regional didn't shock any of us. It's, you know, it's what he's been doing in big situations his whole career.
And this weekend, there's some weather, chance with weather, some rain and whatnot.
Isn't there always weather in South Florida?
Yeah, but overall with your pitching, if it were to delay it middle of the game, how does that affect the pitcher? Just talking more broadly.
I guess it depends on how long that delay is, right? That's sort of one of those things you deal with when it comes up, right? See how long the delay is, see how long you're sitting down for. And I tell you what, coming from where we come from, weather's not going to affect us, right? We're used to weather. You know, it might be a different type of precipitation this weekend than we tend to get in Boston. But you know, weather is not going to affect these boys.
Even the heat, like it wasn't even that hot today, you know. But that midday, noon games, that's a different type of. I'm from the Northeast. That's a different type of humidity, different type of heat. Do you think the kids can acclimate that quickly and really not have an issue with starting pitching and all that?
Yeah, you got to remember too. We played our first 22 games on the road this year. We played 4 in Arizona. We played 9 in Florida, 8 in whatever it was. Not to mention you play in the ACC, so all year you're used to running into you know, heat in different times of year. I think it's probably harder in the middle of the year when we go from